Tonight on Ramblers Unleashed, how will J-Bone manage to disappoint his fellow Ramblers? We all know he's going to. Again. How is the Baron feeling after his epic time at Backlash on Saturday? When will Dizzy win an award for that golden voice of his? Why is Max in such a good mood tonight? Please join us as we honor Sabu with a 10-bell salute at the start of the show. All this and more next on Ramblers Unleashed.
The following program may contain language. Viewer discretion is advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Oh, it's a Tuesday night delight. It is Ramblers Unleashed back on the air right after NXT is done. We are here to ramble about some wrestling, and boy, we have a lot to dive into. But before we get into any of that, first and foremost, let me introduce the rest of the fellas. And first up, the man that is higher than a kite, flown by Tony Khan, our resident happy guy, whose catchphrase is and will always be, "Sir, please."
420. Catchphrase has changed, fellas.
Okay, catchphrase has changed. Ladies and gentlemen, golfers, clap for the one, the only Baron, since we didn't get his $9.99, which we have your segment, the Buzzkill moment, coming up later on in the show. Baron, how are you, bud?
Good, guys. I feel like we were just on a show together literally a day ago, because I think we kind of were. Maybe
We were
a few days ago. But
Saturday.
A lot has happened since Saturday. So, yeah, there's a lot to ramble about. And, of course, just like any other Tuesday, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a lot to talk about tonight. And, J-Bone, you are counting. Steiner math is hard for you, buddy.
Listen, J-Bone, we all know you need your feet to count. Leave your shoes on. Don't kill the rest of your household.
Yeah. By the way, your mic is muted, just so if you try to talk and we can't hear you, that's why. Next up, the neighborhood heel, my best friend, a man with more wrestling knowledge in his pinky finger than Tony Khan could ever muster up with his toy figures, and the only guy that I know that pops bigger for Joel Gertner than any of us. Damn it, Max, you are our wise man. You, J-Bone, can address him as Mr. Mages, but we call him the mighty Maximus Mages. Golfers, clap. Max, how are you, buddy?
You know what? Despite the bad news and all the disappointment, I'm actually in a great mood. I spent today, I had to work for a little bit this morning, but then I was at a graduation celebration, followed by a steak dinner, and now I'm home to ramble with you guys and all our lovely chatters over here because we love all of you.
Mm-hmm.
So check out our merch, though.
Yeah, check out the merch. The link is in the description of this video. And Max, we got your Desk of Max Mages coming up later on in the program. Our producer of the show, though, the man who says he never disappoints, but we all know he does. The man, the myth, the absolute legend, for without his tech wizardry and the gizmos that he brings to his show, plus his vast wrestling knowledge, and of course, his wonderful missus, who is kind enough to gift us his show, or his time for the show tonight. For without him, we would not be here today. The host of Smash's podcast and Total Nonstop Impact with the latest TNA reviews on YouTube over any other podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the great, the infamous, the always disappointing J-Bone. Golfers, clap.
Hey, at least I'm consistent, motherfuckers.
We got your J-Bone Total Nonstop Impact analysis, dude, coming up later on in the show. We're going to cover some TNA stuff, but J-Bone, how are you, bud?
I'm good. I've been busy. I've been in a creative mode the last few days, on and off. Been working on some new tee designs in my own. I think that the link is in the description, if I'm not mistaken.
The link is in the description.
All right, so it's the bottom link, the T Public one.
Mm-hmm.
There is a new design. It's a tribute to the fallen ECW original legend, Sabu.
Yep.
So if you're so inclined to go check out the merch page, the TeePublic one.
I will get those links posted in the chat so that folks can go check it out for themselves.
And it's in the description of the video. I always double check.
Ooh, what is that? Ew. Yeah,
that's the link.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how to get rid of that. Anyway, we have your. Oh, that is not what I needed to do. That is definitely not what I needed to do. I'm going to leave that to you, J-Bone, or you can just go to the description of the video and check it out there. Anyway, we have so much to dive into, and
yes, but
Max, go ahead.
We can't skip the most important introductions of all.
Unless it's the fifth member, I'm cool with. Me, I don't give a shit.
Hold on a second. We'll come back to you. Listen, before I do this intro, there was a comment posted. He's not still in the chat, but he wanted to boo me on his way out. And the Baron has commented about how it's just not the same because I'm not the same heel that I was all that time ago. You people don't want the full-on heel Max Magus back. You have to trust me on this. Yeah. You really don't. But let's talk about this. The fifth member of the Ramblers Unleashed. Without you guys, we'd just be four guys talking to each other. And trust me, that's going to get pretty boring after a while, all right? And this man right here falls asleep on the drop of a hat anyway. But I would like to give it up for our fifth member. The viewers that come make this what it is. Thank you to the Ramblers Unleashed followers. We applaud you. And
we love you.
Last but not least, my best friend, the guy that puts the show together. No matter what he says, he is the most important member of the show. All right? He puts the stories together. He's got the golden voice. Without him, we would not have the Rambler identity that we have. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my best friend, Dizzy.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you, Max. And every time you do it, you get better and better and better. So thank you.
Practice makes perfect.
It does make perfect. Yeah. We do have a lot to dive into. So let's go ahead and get into it. Of course, pro wrestling fans all over the world still mourning over the loss of Sabu, one of the most influential and groundbreaking stars of his era. Pro wrestling fans are mourning the loss of Sabu. And his name is born Terry Funk in Staten Island, New York. He was the nephew Brunk. I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay. He was the nephew of the Sheik, a legendary figure in pro wrestling. After that, Sabu's career was marked by his fearless in-ring style and his commitment to pushing the boundaries of hardcore wrestling, known as the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, death-defying maniac. Sabu made his name in the original ECW, where he became synonymous with his extreme wrestling. His chaotic and unpredictable style made him a beloved figure among fans of the hardcore wrestling scene. And the pro wrestling world sounded off after the passing of Sabu, with WWE releasing a statement saying, quote, WWE is saddened to learn that Terry Brunk, known to wrestling fans as Sabu, has passed away. WWE extends its condolences to Sabu's family, friends, and fans. End quote. Some other names to pay homage to their fallen brother was Damian Priest, Missy Hyatt, Mark Briscoe, Sami Zayn, Sergeant Slaughter, Abyss, Moose, Sammy Guevara, Michael P.S. Hayes, Justin Credible, Ryback, Mustafa Ali, Mike Santana, Leo Rush, Matt Cardona, RVD, Francine, and Taz, who all spent time with Sabu and ECW. Also, New Japan commentator Walker Stewart commented on the passing of Sabu, saying, quote, sending all of my love to the family and friends of and fans of Sabu. Sabu was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. With access to the internet and the implementation of streaming services with ECW available. I'll never forget November to Remember 96, lights go out. They come back up and Sabu returns to one of the loudest ECW crowds I remember watching. Just complete insanity. Rest in peace, Sabu. Legends never die, end quote. And even MLW, Maple Leaf Pro, and AEW sent their condolences too, which just shows what kind of guy he really was to the world of professional wrestling, how much he impacted this industry. And with that, I do want to do the Tim Bell salute. So, gentlemen, if we could please remove our hats. If you have a hat on, rest in peace, Sabu. You will be missed. Rest in peace to Sabu, passing away at the age of 60. So young, so young. But, you know, the show, anytime somebody has fallen, we try to pay homage to them as much as we possibly can. And the way that we pay homage to somebody is with positivity, positive stories. That's one of the biggest things that we can give back to a fan of Sabu. And this is kind of a neat story that I wanted to share with everybody. People from all over the world sharing their stories about how kind and special he was. And it appears one fan even shared how Sabu paid for him and his brothers to go to their WWE event. So a Reddit user named Forsaken Natural 4121. He shared a story about how Sabu helped him and his younger brother go to their first WWE show. He was a young adult at the time, raising his little brother, and they didn't have much money. So on April 1st, 2007, WrestleMania 23 was happening near them. They went to the back gate, just hoping to get some autographs just before going to watch the show on TV. He was 18. His brother was 16. All his money was going to rent and food, and they couldn't afford tickets. They met some stars like Ashley Massaro, John Cena, Tommy Dreamer, Rob Van Dam, and Melina, which made them feel a little better. But then Sabu showed up and said, "You guys should be inside by now. Don't miss out." When they explained that they didn't have the money, Sabu reached into his wallet and gave them good enough to get seats. A venue manager, helped them, a venue manager helped to get them into the show, and it was their very first WWE event that ended up being WrestleMania. The user said he will never forget Sabu, and he was happy he got to thank him in person years later at WrestleCon. He also mentioned that his younger brother sadly passed away in 2009 and asked Sabu to say hello to him in heaven. Sabu's legacy is about more than just wrestling, since it lives on in the hearts of the people that he helped. Stories like this remind us that real legends aren't just known for what they do in front of a crowd, but it's the kindness they show when no one is looking. And no matter what, Sabu's contributions in this business and outside of it will never, ever be forgotten. I was reading that story. Damn, I got choked up. That just goes to show, you wouldn't think that if you looked at Sabu, you wouldn't think that he would be the kind of guy to do that. But that is just so awesome. So awesome. So rest in peace to Sabu. And go ahead, J-Mon.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's paying it forward, man. That's it's someone gave Sabu, which I'm learning a lot more because, and I know some of you guys watched some of the ECW stuff. Well, before I actually joined this crew.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, the Ramblers used to review some of the ECW stuff, and I don't know how many shows you did or which ones.
We did a lot,
but I'm it's thankful to like the TNA YouTube, the new WWE Vault,
Mm-hmm.
They just released like a ton of stuff over the last 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
They released a dark match from 93. 93. I graduated from high school in 92. And I wasn't even watching wrestling at the time. So it just shows how far back his career goes.
Yeah.
But if you go watch on the YouTube channel and watch this match, I don't know who the other guy is. He's some local kid or something. But the way Sabu is like crawling around the ring, literally like Spider-Man, like no one I've ever seen anyone do any of this before. His charisma, his athleticism, his daringness to go up and beyond, up until, a couple weeks before his death and do stuff that just still to this day blows people's minds. Like, how and why did he do this? He did it for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually did watch November to Remember 96. And I do remember that scene where
it was the Baron's favorite one that we watched.
It was. Yes, it was.
If you had to pick one, right?
yeah, you're right about that, Max.
But this is how influential Sabu was, and especially for guys like Sami Zayn. He had been pushing for Sabu's Hall of Fame induction well before the ECW legend's passing. In a tweet from 2022, Zayn made it pretty clear that he believed Sabu deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, deserved to be honored, writing, quote, "Sabu should be in the Hall of Fame," end quote. Now, after news of Sabu's death broke, Zayn revisited that sentiment by quote tweeting his original post. This time, Zayn added more context, saying, quote, "This is a gut punch. I was pushing this agenda again a few weeks ago after Sabu had his final match. RIP Sabu, one of a kind, absolute legend, and a true game changer for professional wrestling," end quote. Sabu's final match took place earlier this year, marking the end of a career that spanned decades. Despite his legendary status, though, Sabu was never inducted into a major wrestling Hall of Fame. His career included memorable run-ins in ECW, WWE, TNA. We also saw him on AEW programming, too, where he became known for his high-risk, no-holds-barred approach to wrestling. Sabu's willingness to sacrifice his body in the ring made him a beloved figure among hardcore wrestling fans, but he also struggled with injuries and backstage politics throughout his career. Now, with Zayn renewing his call for Sabu's Hall of Fame induction, the conversation has gained a lot of new momentum. And for Zayn, the timing of Sabu's passing only underscores the urgency of honoring the ECW icon's contributions to the business. And honestly, I'm with Sammy on this. Even if he was still here, I would always back up Sammy and say he does deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, Max. I mean, he put his life and his body on the line in so many insane matches. He deserves that.
Look, I had a negative experience with the guy several years ago. So on a personal level, I wasn't a big fan of his, but he's one of the boys. I'm sad to see him go. And I'll be honest about something. Whether I cared for him or not, I cannot deny the indelible mark that he made on this industry, the impact he had, the qualifications for Hall of Fame have laxed over the years. I mean, you got Coco Beware in there, but someone like Sabu, who had the impact he had, that right there should qualify him for it. Yeah. He had some amazing matches. He put on one hell of a show in that ring, and I think it's an injustice that he's not already in a Hall of Fame.
I think so too, Baron. I say it's time we get into. I wonder if there's like a petition that's going to be circulating online, and we can all sign collectively to get Sabu into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I leave the Hall of Fame talks away regardless. I mean, there's quite a few people that have passed that are not in the Hall of Fame. It just I don't know what the qualifications are for the Hall of Fame, just like Max kind of said. Like, what are they? Does he deserve to be in there? Absolutely, 100%. He was one of the most innovative people in wrestling. You didn't see a lot from other wrestlers until Sabu kind of broke out, and like the jumping off the chair, running onto the chair, jumping off. You've never seen that in wrestling before.
He kind of revolutionized hardcore wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, like, he was a founding father of hardcore wrestling, and he's carried that on, and he was also, like, from everything I've watched and over the years, because I mean, I've been watching since early 90s, right? Since I was a child. He wasn't a big talker, right? He wasn't on the mic. He left it in the ring. So that was, and a lot of people that watch it, that's what we watch wrestling for, is being able to connect with the wrestler inside the ring. Absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But I like to stay away from the Hall of Fame talks because I don't. There's so many people that need to be in that, man.
Yeah, I don't know what the qualifications are, J-Bone, for Hall of Fame, but he definitely deserves his own induction, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's, I think a lot of people thought they were going to start maybe kind of getting that going with, when WrestleMania hit Philly, because that's where, ECW is originally, started.
Sure.
On the East Coast. And, it's nice to like start off that concept or that run with Paul Heyman. But these guys some of them should have been in a long time ago. I mean, RVD's in there, and I can't think of any others that were in there that were in ECW. Or
the Dudley Boys are in Hall of Fame, right?
Are they?
I don't remember. I
thought they were.
They might be.
I think they are.
I know they're part of TNA's. I know that. But yeah, that gets a little blurry when you start looking at all the different lists and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just gonna say, I had a thought. Damn it! It'll come back to me.
Okay, Max. I think you like to. Well, I know you like to Google stuff while we're all talking. So, what did you find anything on Google?
Well, the problem is the one page that I found. It says it's ECW alumni in the WWE Hall of Fame, but then it's got guys that were actually known for their time in WWE, like Snuka, Morocco. Terry Funk is on here. Steve Austin did work for ECW, but most of these guys are more known for their WWE time. They're not the actual ECW originals.
Yeah, I mean
Eddie or Ray.
Yeah. I mean, they bought ECW, obviously, but it's a WWE Hall of Fame at the end of the day, right? I guess. Yeah. I see the point there, but nonetheless, he deserves to be in there. Fantastic career. He will be sadly missed for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe for the one time, boys, we go back and review one ECW show for Sabu. I'll let you three guys deal with that.
No, you brought it up. You're going to be included in that, man.
I was going to say, I just remembered what I forgot earlier. There's footage out there, and I don't know what show it's from ECW, what pay-per-view or what rivalry. I know he had like infamous rivalries with guys like Taz.
Yeah.
But there is footage out there, and I saw this footage, and it just kind of like freaked me out because I've never seen anyone else do this before. And it's a little fuzzy, but didn't they bring Sabu to the ring in a straitjacket? And he's got like the Silence of the Lambs, the mask on his face. And they wheeled him down to the ring on a cart. Didn't they do that or something?
I don't think that was Sabu.
I don't know if that was.
And there was an actual character that came out like that years ago, right?
Yeah.
In WWE?
I don't know.
Early Ruthless.
I could have
Aggression
sworn that was
period.
Sabu and they did that too. Like,
let's get our resident investigator, Maxis Magus, on the line here.
Which, by the way, while Max is looking that up, I do want to bring up what Bell's Boy just said. If you have not been watching the new season of Dark Side of the Ring, holy God, you've got to see it. It's been so good. So good. The story of Tony Atlas, which is crazy. And now tonight's newest episode featuring the original Sheik with Sabu as he was interviewed before his passing. I got to watch that. I'm going to probably try to watch that at some point. I may skip AEW tomorrow. Shh, don't tell. Don't tell anybody.
How dare thou?
I skip AEW every week, so you know.
I know. But Max.
oh yeah, here it is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Give me. Just keep going. I'll upload. I'll download this. And
while he's doing that, I can confirm that in 2018, the Dudley Boys were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I have checked Tommy Dreamer and Taz. They are not, although I feel like at least Taz deserves to be in. Maybe Dreamer.
Yeah, nah. I never understood the Taz hype nor what he did for the wrestling landscape at all. Personal opinion.
Come on.
Yeah. Wait, this wasn't my Buzzkill moment? Fuck.
Yeah. Not yet.
I mean, it worked, right?
But while these two right here are searching, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button that tells YouTube that you like what we're doing here and recommends our video to other users.
Okay, so I'm close.
Okay, you're close.
It's not exactly how I envisioned it in my head, but this is what I was thinking about. It's just a little different. So here's the picture. This is Sabu.
Yeah.
It's got to be from some classic ECW show. He's chained up and he's got some mask on. Like in my head, I thought he had a straitjacket on, but it's got, he's got the Silence of the Lambs mask on, and he is on a cart getting wheeled to the ring, and he's chained up instead of in a straitjacket. So I was close.
That's just incredible to in the multicolored coat, correct?
No, that's not just incredible. No,
it looks like him.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's bald and got the mustache, but I think Just Incredible was. I mean, he came a few years after the fact. I'm not sure who that is, and I'm not sure who that is to the left. Is that?
I don't know.
On my left, is that Kevin Sullivan?
Sure. Will you send me that picture real quick, J-Bone, please?
I don't know if that was Kevin Sullivan or not.
It's not the best quality, but I'll throw it in the chat here.
Yeah. But let's move on because we have so much more to talk about. Rest in peace to Sabu. As we have. Go ahead, Max.
No, I was doing Sabu's point.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, Max, let's get to you. And let's go to the desk of Max Magus, thanks to ringsidenews.com. Let's hit the rewind button real quick, Max. So Steve Austin's wild entrance at WrestleMania 41. Steve Austin's wild entrance at WrestleMania 41 took a dangerous turn where he lost control of his ATV, slamming into the ringside barricade and knocking a fan to the ground. So Austin quickly addressed the incident, and WWE has reportedly gone silent about the aftermath, and now we might know why. In a recent Fightful Select Q&A, Sean Ross Sapp addressed the situation and suggested that WWE is keeping a tight lid on what happened next. And I quote, "I was told that we would not likely hear anything about that again unless a lawsuit is filed," end quote. Hinting that Sapp hinting that the incident could be quietly handled behind closed doors. So Sapp went on to explain how WWE likely dealt with the affected fan. And I quote, Assuming WWE took care of that situation, it would almost certainly come with a non-disclosure, he noted. If they provided her any sort of monetary or benefit as a result of that situation, they almost would have certainly mandated an NDA, end quote. Now, during the crash, Austin misjudged the turn on his second lap around the ring, hitting the barricade with enough force to send the fan tumbling. And backstage, WWE exec Nick Khan was seen rushing over to speak with the fan, while Austin later went back to check on her personally. But on the Ariel Helwani show, Austin actually opened up about the incident, calling it a personal embarrassment. And I quote, "I was embarrassed by it. I think everybody is okay," he said. You go out there on the biggest night in wrestling and you end up like that. It's not the greatest day at the office, end quote. As for whether the fan received any sort of compensation or settlement, Sapp's comments suggest that WWE may have locked down all with a legal agreement, locked it all down. So if that's the case, don't expect to hear much more about the crash unless a lawsuit is filed. But Max, you think the fans should take legal action against WWE? I mean, I have my own thoughts on it, but I want to hear yours first.
As much as I hate to say that, if there was a real injury, then yeah, I think you have to. But my understanding and the way it looked, it doesn't look like she actually got injured by that. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm stating a fact that she was not injured. But it didn't look like it and Baron has even pointed out that it looked like she was back far enough from the barricade that when he hit it, it didn't actually connect with her.
Right.
But if you do get injured and the company doesn't choose to settle or compensate you in some way, then yes, your next recourse is to settle, to do a lawsuit.
But if you, and I don't mean it cuts you off, but if you watch the video, which we can't show here due to copyright, but if you watch it in slow motion, she fell moments after Austin made contact with the barricade. If she would have fell as soon as he made contact, then I think it would have been a different story. But I don't see how the fans' case would hold up in a court of law, Max.
I don't either. And that's the thing. But like I said, if she has a legitimate injury from it, then yes. Yeah. If the company is not going to play ball, you have to. But in this particular case, I don't think that she has a case. I think this was the ATV accident seen around the world. Was Stone Cold driving irresponsibly? Yes, he was.
Yep.
But if you look at the tape, it does not look like she was actually injured in this. It looks like this would be a case of, I found an ambulance chaser and he's going to get me $1 million.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
I got 2 words for you guys. Delayed reaction.
Yeah, that's why I'm not even sure why anybody was even touching that subject, like Sean Ross. Like, what? I'm sure he must have had a slow.
Well, I think he was asked about it. It was during his Q&A. So,
I mean, anybody that's kind of like they've said, anybody that watched that video could understand. Like, this was very. Like anybody that's been to a wrestling event should know how big the barricade is between where the wrestlers stand and where the fans sit. Like it is a thick layer. Of course, when he hit it, even at that speed, it barely moved. So you should know right off then. Now, the only thing I could think of is maybe possibly the underneath of the barricade could have snagged her toe, and we could have had some issues there with the toe. That could totally have happened. But I think this is a very delay thing, but it doesn't look good on Stone Cold's part, considering I'm sure he drank 20 beers before driving that, and he drank 3 while he was sitting in the ring. So, like, it's not a good look for Stone Cold. Well, what's even funnier is actually prior to going down to the ring, he missed the ramp.
He did.
Yeah,
he was going to that.
There's video that circulated of him missing the ramp completely. So he was totally hammered.
He was hammered, and that doesn't look good. No. I can't imagine she would get much out of this. You had to have some pretty serious injuries, maybe some free tickets to a show or something like that. But on Stone Cold's part, that did not look good.
Right? No.
I would be embarrassed as well.
Yeah, because I mean, and I'll give Nick kind of a lot of credit. He was in the audience. He was front row, right at the bottom of the ramp. If you've seen the footage of people sitting around the ring, that's where he was seated. He ran over there immediately to go check on her, and then Stone Cold was over there after the segment. So what was the conversation that was had? We're not gonna know, but whatever.
You'll never know. No. But it is kind of interesting, Max, that, people are still wondering about it, asking about it, concerned about it, I suppose.
I would guess that right now there's probably a gag order of some sort on this, pending any possible litigation. I'm talking about on both sides, not just WWE is clamming up because there might be a lawsuit.
Because not only would it go against the WWE, but it could go against the venue. It could go against a lot of people. If this were to get pushed over into the court of law, my God, so many people would come out of the woodwork that would get involved.
Honestly, I think the bigger it gets, there's more likely of it to get dismissed. Honestly,
I can't imagine much is coming from this unless she was seriously injured. And anybody with the common sense that watched it can understand that she was not severely injured. Emotional damage, possibly. Yeah, I mean that could be scary. A four-wheeler coming at your ass.
I can see her getting some free tickets, some free merch, whatever. But
just like Green Shirt Guy, how in the hell did he get all those free tickets?
Well, he knows somebody. I think he's related to somebody that works at WWE.
I think he's a ring guy.
It's funny you mentioned that because I actually just saw this story. The story about Green Shirt Guy goes way back from when Punk was in the WWE beforehand. Not his current run, beforehand. So over 10 years ago. He was champion at the time, and I know the footage is out there. It was like a fuzzy interview with the guy. And so Punk was in the audience, and he was running from someone, turned around, and the guy put his hand on Punk, not to hurt him or anything, but it was just a, because he was trying to adjust how he was standing behind him or something to that effect. Touched his shoulder. Punk snapped.
Oh, are you talking about the punching? That's not him.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
No.
Yeah, that's the Green Shirt Guy.
No way.
Totally.
No, really? I'll have to go look at the video again.
Guy, I heard he had some connections in WWE.
I don't think that story is entirely true. I think this guy was a much younger, skinnier guy that got punched.
Yeah, let's.
But I could be totally wrong. But good for him. Fuck, I might next event I go to, I might do the same goddamn thing and get my front row because it might be worth it. They cost $2,000.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about SmackDown. The May 9th, 2025 episode of SmackDown brought a compelling night of action to the USA Network, featuring the much anticipated return of Alexa Bliss after a 2-month absence. The episode also continued the final build to the Backlash PLE, resulting in noticeable rating boosts. According to Programming Insider, SmackDown drew 1.455 million viewers, up 3.5% from its 1.406 million viewers on May 2nd. In the key 18 to 49 demo, the show posted a 0.41 rating, a 10.8% from last week's 0.37 rating, which is really, really good. SmackDown's gains come amid heightened anticipation for Backlash and Alexa Bliss's return, and she provided a really, really strong narrative hook for the episode. So
I love her.
Really, I do too. Really, really good.
Here's a question I have for any wrestling fan that can ever answer this question. How does returns, unless it's been advertised, affect ratings in any way, shape, or form? It doesn't, because nobody knows they're returning, right?
Well, no,
Well, we're in the age of technology. So if Alexa's entrance music hits, all of a sudden people are going, "Oh my God, Alexa is back!" And it spreads like fire throughout the internet, and everybody switches over and starts watching SmackDown, going, "Oh my God, it's too bad she's married. I would love to marry Alexa Bliss."
or if you're like us and you go to ringsidenews.com, you might know Alexa Bliss is coming back at some point on SmackDown, so you're continuously watching the program because you just know at some point she's going to return.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with those answers there, but it still doesn't take into consideration a jump of viewership during that.
It's a huge jump, though. I mean, it's a massive jump.
Yeah,
I told you guys she was returning, but no one listens to J-Bone.
Well, you know.
Grandpa, take your medicine.
get your lollipop.
All right. So normally we go into AEW news and right into Baron's buzzkill moment. But tonight we're doing something just a little bit different, and we're talking about GCW. Baron, this is your buzzkill moment thanks to ringsidenews.com. Joey Janela, he made some pretty controversial comments about Sabu's final match at GCW Spring Break 9 and it reportedly left Game Changer Wrestling feeling embarrassed, frustrated, and humiliated. So according to Fightful Select, GCW promoter Brett Lauderdale confronted Janela about the interview, which has since drawn heavy backlash from fans. In the interview with Uncrowned, Janela claimed that Sabu was given, is it kratom? Pronounced kratom?
Kratom.
Kratom. Okay, so he was given kratom to help him get through the match. Sabu, who had previously credited the substance with aiding his recovery from opiates, wrestled his last match against Janela just weeks before his passing at the age of 60. So Janela's comments painted a controversial picture, suggesting that Sabu needed the substance to perform. It was noted that Janela allegedly, quote, embellished some elements of the match itself to add to the lore of Sabu, end quote. And that interview took place shortly after the match itself. However, Janela's remarks drew immediate criticism online. So a fan accused GCW of exploiting Sabu for ticket sales, saying, quote, so GCW, Brett, drugged Sabu knowing he was unable to wrestle that night, or at least having issues, in the name of making 2,000 fans happy rather than prioritizing an old retired legend's health. I'm so fucking disappointed to ever support GCW and buy tickets to their shows, end quote. Janela quickly fired back, denying that GCW had anything to do with the kratom. He claimed Sabu's own team provided the substance and defended its use, stating, quote, we didn't give him kratom, his team did. It's also not illegal, and 85% of professional wrestlers do it, especially the ones on TV, so F you. Sabu was a grown man. He did what he had to do to get out there. I took care of him in the best of my ability. I didn't think what happened halfway would have happened, end quote. Janela managed that the goal was to give Sabu one final payday and memorable send-off. However, his tone shifted when fans continued to press him, urging him to take accountability for allowing Sabu to wrestle in such a condition. One fan said, and I quote, Joey, I love you, but please just take the blame and say sorry for this shit, man. Fuck the spotlight. His health comes first, end quote. Janela refused, responding with, quote, kiss my ass, end quote. That when the fan further pressed suggesting Janela apologized to Sabu's family and fans, Janela doubled down, saying, quote, Sabu's friends and family are over the moon for what we did for him. So once again, F you and kiss my ass, end quote. Now, despite the fallout, it was emphasized there is, quote, no indication that the GCW match or anything related to that story had a connection with Sabu's passing, end quote. Sabu appeared at WrestleCon shortly after the GCW match, interacting with fans in what would ultimately be his final public appearance. So, Baron, you're our resident guy. First and foremost, What is kratom?
Kratom. Well, I call it kratom. I mean, hell, you might be pronouncing it right. I've always called it kratom, but like,
never heard of it.
Potato,
it's like it's like an alternative like to CBD, right? Like CBD's the cannabinoid that comes off of our deprived hemp flower, and that's super beneficial for many reasons. It's non-addictive. However, kratom is like grown in like Southeast Asia. And it's not it's not a highly reputable thing to use. I would highly advise against that because, actually, there has been many studies to say that it does help with opioid addiction or withdrawals. More to say.
Legal?
What's that?
Is it legal?
It's federally illegal. Kratom as well as CBD is federally illegal. Yeah, because there's not enough studies to go into saying that they're, psychoactive. And really, kratom is not psychoactive in any way, or they wouldn't be able to sell it, or it would be a classified drug, right?
Right.
So, it does help like with the pain relief, which I'm sure that like Sabu was trying to go through, and or if it was taken or whatever the case may be. So there's benefits to it. I would highly recommend for users that are trying to find relief to never use that, because that's it's different, and it really creates a lot of actual issues.
So could it have created issues for him in the ring?
Oh, absolutely. Because kratom is kind of like, how do I put it, is it's good for like a normal painkiller, right? But it's not. I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. You don't have a very long period of effects while using this at all.
I would assume it's kind of like the effects of ibuprofen. You take it, your pain goes away, but then it slowly could come back, right?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like, this is a little bit more, this creates a lot more issues like seizures, nausea, vomiting, and like really bad cases of liver damage and stomach pains. So, and what it does, it puts people into like trying to find the right word to use here.
So
psychosis more than what like a CBD or THC does. Like CBD, THC affects your brain receptors, right?
Right.
Oh, well, there you go. Perfect. But like kratom affects your body receptors per se, right?
So we're not doctors. We don't play one on this podcast.
I'm a fucking drug doctor. No, I'm kidding. There's definitely not.
The Baron's a street pharmacist. Thank you very much.
Highly paid street pharmacist at that.
Here's my question. Could have kratom, however you pronounce it, could that have been a side effect, or could that have caused death?
There's been many cases. There's been cases of people
because you said liver
dying from like kratom, but I don't know how you could visually prove that.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't say this would be a cause of death. Absolutely not. I mean, we've seen this man for years, and his body has to be hurting, so he's looking for the best alternative to, reduce the pain, right?
Yeah.
But we have to understand that kratom is not a cannabis plant in any way, shape, or form. People believe it has ties to CBD and THC cannabinoids, and this is why kratom, in my personal opinion, and just like Delta 8 or anything, should be taken away from the public to sell, because there's not enough research. There hasn't been any documentation that it's actually beneficial to you, and it's coming from overseas, and it's not deprived from a hemp plant like cannabis is. So there could always be a chance that they've had some adverse fucking effects from painkillers they're taking with it. We don't know. We're not doctors, like you say, but like I would highly advise anyone not to take kratom. That's just my personal.
And I want to make clear that we don't know what caused Sabu's death. We're not saying that it was this drug or whatever. I would assume they're going to do an autopsy at some point on Sabu. Hopefully some news will get released down the road on, what if an autopsy is performed and what they find. I just, there's just a ton of controversy around this, and I wanted your expert opinion on this, Baron. So thank you for that.
No expert.
What do you think? But what do you think about Joey Janela? Kind of going on the defense, though. From fans saying that, hey, you owe Sabu and his family an apology, plus his fans too.
I guess maybe I missed that part. Why would he have to apologize to his family?
Well, because they thought that GCW was just getting Sabu as a quick payday to get, just to get money, just to use his name to sell tickets, basically.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's probably exactly what they did.
Yeah,
So, yeah, absolutely. But is that Joey Janela that owns GCW?
No. Joey Janela, and I don't know much about GCW, but I don't think he owns it. It's Brett Lauderdale, but I know that he had a lot of different
He's got a lot of pull there.
I think so. I think he had a lot of tournaments. And again, we don't cover GCW as probably much as we should. I just don't watch it. So if anybody out there can tell me who this Joey Janela guy is, I just know that he brought up Sabu's name. He, fans are pissed off, and that's why I brought it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Joey Janela has been around for a long time. I think this guy is a complete piece of shit. However, from a lot of videos I've watched on the internet, I just watched one the other day where somebody threw a table literally at him. Right? I think he is a pretty big piece of shit. But I'm not sure. Rest in peace to Sabu. But it sounds to me like it was a kind of bring them in kind of moment to get a payday, because I'm sure they do. Because if I'm not mistaken, isn't GCW isn't their entire thing based off of Joey Janela? Janela's
he does what's called the Joey
Spring Break
or something.
Yeah, and I think that's how the GCW kind of was built out. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember in the past. But yeah,
I'm sending a picture of him over right now. He was in AEW for 3 years, from 2019 to 2022. So maybe you'll recognize him from that picture.
Oh yeah, I do recognize.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen pictures of him. But that's Joey Janela.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. I think he's got a lot of backstage bullshit with him, and I think that's kind of why he looks like fucking one of the Young Bucks mixed with fucking
Jack Perry.
Jack Perry, there you go.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But thank you for your expert opinion on that, Baron. I do appreciate it. Let's move on to some AEW news, and we've only got this story. Jake the Snake Roberts is on the road to recovery after undergoing heart ablation surgery earlier today. So the WWE Hall of Famer and AEW manager took to Twitter to let his fans know that he's doing well, posting a thumbs up photo from his hospital bed. Roberts said, and I quote, "I'm out of surgery, recovering well, feeling good. Appreciate everyone who prayed and gave their words of encouragement. Back in action soon. Again soon. Hashtag trust me," end quote. Now, earlier in the day, Robert's wife, Cheryl, asked fans to keep the legend in their thoughts as he headed into surgery. Despite numerous setbacks, Roberts has remained really resilient, crediting DDP for DDP Yoga for helping him turn his life around. Roberts was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2014 and has since become a fixture in AEW, serving as a manager and mentor to the current roster. With his latest health crisis seemingly under control, Roberts is already looking forward to getting back to work in AEW. So, Jake, if you ever see this, man, we are so happy that you're doing well after your heart surgery, and speedy recovery to your brother. We love you. Thank you for your contributions in this business, and speedy recovery. We hope to get you on this program someday. That would be freaking cool. Let's move on to some TNA news. And we get into J-Bone's professional podcasting opinion, as he likes to put it. And Joe Hendry, we know that he has been involved with the WWE for a very, very long time now. And each of his appearances have always been very well received by fans and wrestlers alike. In fact, it appears that many in WWE believe he's considered a lock to sign with the company after his TNA contract expires. So according to PW Insider, there's been a lot of positive feedback about Joe Hendry within WWE. Many believe it's considered a lock that he'll sign with the company once he's free from his current TNA contract. It was also noted that Hendry especially was praised for how he stepped in during the Randy Orton WrestleMania 41. And he's also getting credit for how well he listens to feedback for his creativity. It was added that Joe Hendry is held in very high regard. This follows Triple H's confirmation that Joe Hendry will be making appearances in future WrestleMania events. Since then, Hendry's shown up on NXT television and is even set to defend the TNA World Championship against Trick Williams at Battleground, the PLE, this month. So, J-Bone, this is good news for Hendry. And, you know, he's always come off as a superstar, no matter what promotion he's landed in.
Yeah, it's taken a while. I mean, his gimmick, he's had that gimmick for a long time, you know, singing goofy stuff or, you know, singing about his whatever opponent he has in the ring, singing a goofy song about him. It's very entertaining, and it's been that way for a while, but it was just until within this last year that his stuff actually started going viral. And I'm not a TikTok person, but I heard it went viral on TikTok. Mm-hmm. People were buying the single of his entrance theme, you know. So yeah.
Just to, you know, we just transitioned over from the Buzzkill moment. I just want to hijack this for a second. The Buzzkill a little bit more. The highest rated TikTok video of all time was someone taking a video of a like pie. So if that means anything. If you don't get what I'm saying here, it's very easy to go viral on TikTok.
Was it poontang pie?
No, it wasn't. You can't do that on the Talk-a-Tick.
Dear God.
Sorry, J-Bone.
That's all right.
Had to throw it out there since you weren't a TikTok guy.
That's okay. the old bone doesn't get the TikTok whatever stuff. But yeah, it's good for him. He's been able to you know, keep the momentum going, and it's like, look, the gimmick only lasts so long, but the guy is very talented, and whenever he shows up in NXT, and if you guys didn't see it tonight, he had the
contract signing.
Thank you, contract signing with Ava and Trick Williams. Very interesting there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's going to happen at the end of May, 20-something.
It's Memorial Day weekend.
Okay, there you go.
And
so
we're going to we'll do a prediction show on it. Maybe a review. I'm going to make an early prediction on this.
Okay.
Since Joe Hendry's not going to drop the title, I don't think. But I think that Stephanie Vaquer is ready to go to the main roster, and she's dropping that title to what's her face? Jordan Grace. I think she's going to drop it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think she's going to definitely get called up. She's she's definitely the hottest ticket right now.
Yes, she is.
I don't know. I'm not. Sorry, TNA folks. I just not a big believer in Jordan Grace on the NXT roster right now. But hopefully that my mind has changed down the road because I do appreciate her work that I've seen from the TNA.
I do like Jordan Grace. I do like her. I think she's a fucking powerhouse for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
She is stacked.
Yeah, but there's just so many other powerhouses too. You got the J. You got a lot. So I hope my mind has changed on that soon because I don't have much. Like Stephanie has aura. Jordan Grace does not have the aura, and that's just my personal opinion. But to go back on Joe Hendry, I just watched 2 interviews with Triple H and Randy Orton, both that gave high praise to Joe Hendry. So I think that's pretty much. I mean, you get high praise from Triple H. That's a lock to be in there. I think that'd be awesome for him. You guys know I'm not the big believer, but I think he's got that it factor that people gravitate towards, right? That aura that I always say. So I hope to see him on the main roster. I just
backstage though, just to be with just to think about how he is backstage. You would have to think that he is just like a sponge and just soaking it all in because he's been with TNA for how many years, J-Bone?
On and off for a few years.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to think, like 2 years, his current run, and then he was with TNA like pre-pandemic for a couple of years. Back when they were doing a lot more stuff with the UK. So yeah, okay. So yeah, Bell's Boy, Bell's Boy, I love you. This is what I was saying on the last show on TNI. For those of you that didn't see, I actually think that there is a chance that Trick could absolutely beat Joe Hendry. And then someone new and different from TNA could take the title from Trick Williams, aka Mike Santana, or someone like that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, like absolutely. I'm just saying
I just don't see how that would work. I mean, Hendry hasn't been the champ that long. Why would they drop the title? Why would he drop the title that damn quick?
Well, he's not going to be around in the company much longer.
No, but but when does his contract expire?
It's like at the end of the year.
So,
I mean, so he's got some time,
he's got some months ahead to
you got to look at it. I look at it like this. He's going to have opportunities coming up over the course of the next several months to do certain things with the WWE. I think he is absolutely going to have a match with John Cena before he rides off into the sunset, and maybe not even necessarily for the title, just as an exhibition, but who knows?
We're putting that Hendry on a very high pedestal, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't see Hendry going up against John Cena before he goes. I
wonder how the contract works over in TNA with like the WWE partnership and TNA. Meaning, like, could he get out of the TNA contract very easily if he's going to WWE?
Well,
and they still could do the back and forth between the two.
Yeah, that's what the contract states, is that you're allowed to go back and forth between promotion to promotion, however the storyline fits. But I'm actually going to look up when Joe Hendry's contract expires, because I can't remember.
But the thing is, though, you still have to make sure you're available for all of your TNA dates, no matter what optional WWE dates are out there. The fact that WrestleMania didn't fall on a TNA contracted date worked out perfectly. And listen, I want to know what the secret is, because I sit here, we've been saying it all night. We say Joe Hendry, He doesn't appear. I'm very disappointed.
We believe in you, Joe Hendry, which, by the way, his TNA contract hasn't really been specified, the expiration date.
Disclosed,
but it is it is supposed to run through late this year.
You know what I really like to see, and I know the TNA fan lovers will really hate this opinion. I would love to see that title on the line on a WWE show. I think we've already tested some waters between the cross promotion thing. I think TNA is a great product. I don't know if it's benefited them in any way. Yes,
that's the thing. At Battleground, that's what this match with Trick Williams is.
Yeah, I'm Battleground though. Like, I mean, I'm talking like WWE.
You're talking about main roster.
Main roster, right. Yeah, I just don't. I don't know if there's enough.
I think what he's saying is he thinks Joe Hendry should defend at SummerSlam.
I think that would be awesome, man. You're promoting that show.
Pick me.
You're coming out with that title. I think that is the biggest boost that you could do to TNA. And I think that'd be awesome to see.
Yeah. I just, all in all, I think there's a lot of options for Joe leading up until.
Yeah, I agree, Bells Boy. They'll just buy his contract out as soon as they want him. It's not too hard.
And as far as me thinking that he's going to lose the title to Trick, it's not hate. It's not me hating on him. It's just me trying to just wondering how the next several months are going to play out between NXT, TNA, WWE, and I could see Trick Williams getting that push to go to another company for a few months, maybe hold it until Bound for Glory in the fall. It's just, look, I'm just,
I mean, that's good. I just don't see them. I just don't see Hendry dropping the title this month. Will it happen at some point before SummerSlam? I really think we're going to see Joe Hendry at SummerSlam. I really think we're going to see the debut of Hendry at SummerSlam at some point. We still have some months to go before we get to summer, but I think before SummerSlam, we're going to see Hendry drop the title at some point, but I think it's going to be on a TNA PLE. It won't be on an NXT PLE.
Look, I'm a firm believer that this is going to be the guy that takes away the title from Cena. I'm just saying.
I think we're going to get that on Saturday Night Main Event program.
Yes,
there.
We are. Yes, we are. Which, by the way, SummerSlam, speaking of, we got a big promotion, big promotion. We're going to do our predictions, but we want you to choose which Rambler you're going to side with. Who are you going to go with? You going to go with me? You're going to go with the Baron? You're going to go with Old Man? You're going to go with Max Magus? Who are you going to side with?
Who had the most correct picks from WrestleMania out of any Rambler?
But who's got the golden voice?
But who's got the best weed?
Who's got the who's that?
Who has the most action figures? Oh.
Again, who's got the best weed? Hell, J-Bo might just pick me.
You're going the winner of whoever gets the closest predictions of us Ramblers. You're going to get a really, really cool prize. We haven't figured out that prize yet, which, by the way, we should probably choose that prize coming up soon. But you are going to get a really cool prize. But get excited because SummerSlam, a big PLE for WWE and another big show for us. We've always predicted SummerSlam. We've always reviewed SummerSlam, nights 1 and 2. So we are going to do it again this year just with a little bit of a twist. So which Rambler are you going to go with to side with? You're going to go with this guy right here. Right here.
I'll tell you what, I think something really special. I'll sign some underwear and throw that in the package. What do you think?
Oh fuck.
Oh God. You're gonna need some weed to take over that underwear. But we're gonna discuss the prize and we'll let you know what we've come up with. Maybe maybe it's just an appearance here on Ramblers Unleashed. Maybe.
Oh, that reminds me. We got a debate coming up soon.
Oh, we do. Remind me of that. Remind us of that debate, Max.
So, due to comments made by one of our own and Mr. Terrence in the chat, we are going to have a debate somewhere down the road. We're going to find a time that works for everybody, and they are going to decide whose title reign has meant more, Cody Rhodes or John Cena.
And it's going to be Terrence against
the Baron.
Oh.
Don't single out Terrence. That is a shot for anyone that would like to jump onto the show. You know what? You don't even have to jump onto the show. You could write us something out, send it over. Give me your reasons why you believe that Rhodes or any topic. That's what I do best. I debate like none other. They used to call me the master debater.
The masturbator.
Debater. Master debater. No. But yeah, anytime anybody wants to jump on the call, just have fun. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to realize any debate, we're civil human beings.
Yes.
We respect each other's opinions. Even though your opinion's wrong and mine's right, I will respect it as much as I possibly can. But it's all for love, man. It's all fun. So anytime anybody wants to do that, I'm down.
Yeah, we still need to do that. I think we need to do that live, though. I think Terrence needs to be on with us, and we get you to just that, just a debate. Oh my God, that would be epic. So let's get a time set that we can all get on the call, maybe on a Tuesday night, and just get here and have you two debate. That would be freaking awesome.
Terrence, we need you to reach out to us so we can work out when the best time and date is for that.
Yep.
And we'll get this going.
Well, we had to refresh my memory because I am sure the last time this was brought up, my mind was pretty much blown out of the smithereens. So what was the debate topic here?
Refresh my memory too, Max. Because
I even just mentioned it. I believe it's supposed to be whose title reign has meant more, Cody Rhodes or John Cena.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, okay.
There's something else we gotta rewind just a little bit to earlier in the show. The picture that J-Bone showed that I had him send me. I've been like a dog with a bone trying to figure out who these guys are in the picture. I had narrowed it down to possibly being the Pitbulls 1 and 2, or possibly Kid Cash on the left, or even possibly Eddie Gilbert on the left.
You got to tell me to pull up the picture before you start talking, man.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
People know what we're
the Sabu picture.
Yeah.
Well, have we not learned yet? Copy and paste that picture in the chat GPT. He'll tell you who the 3 people are.
And this isn't a very clear shot because I had to zoom in, but here we go. Okay.
So the guy on the left might be Pitbull 1 and the guy on the right might be Pitbull 2. I saw a thing that said that 911 escorted Sabu out a lot, but 911 had hair back then.
Yeah.
So I'm really thinking that this might be the Pitbulls, or that could be Eddie Gilbert on the left.
Okay. Well, if ECW historian knows who the fuck these two dudes are, you let us know in our social media page at The Ramblers Pod. You can also, which I just realized now my tag is wrong. That's wrong. The Ramblers Pod. The Ramblers Pod is my our Twitter handle. But
how did you do that?
I don't know why I did that. Honestly, I don't know why the fuck I did that.
I know. I was reading that. I'm like, that ain't right.
I said, okay, what the fuck's going on? Anyway.
And yes, for entertainment value, I will absolutely debate a cloud.
I found the actual video.
You found a video of what?
The
entrance?
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull it up on YouTube and send it to you.
Oh no.
Yeah, just don't play it on here. We'll get
it. We can't do it. Anyway, okay.
You can pull it up, pause it, and just show the screen. You don't have to play it.
Anyway, let's go ahead and give our social media accounts out. Max, we'll go with you first. How can they get a hold of you?
You can find my wrestling version at Max Magus. You can find my other podcast, Random Shots, at Our Shots Podcast, or you can listen to us anywhere you get your podcasts from. Just search Random Shots Podcast, or you can go to random-shots.net. All complaints should go to at Deactivated Styles.
Baron, how can they follow you?
You know the drill. Find me on X, the twit. Scumbag Jordan with three
ends. J-Bone.
Oh, you can find me on the old Twitter box at a JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150. You can also find me over on that other little show called Total Nonstop Impact, where we talk everything TNA on Thursdays with a live reaction and a review following, including news and more.
And I would like to bring up something real quick before we get out of here tonight and get off the show. Right now, we're sitting at 235 subscribers, but there is somebody who is messing with us big time because they keep unsubscribing. They keep subscribing and unsubscribing and keep subscribing. If that's you, dude, stop. We know what you're doing. Stop it. Just quit, okay? That we're not mad. And if you want to make yourself known publicly, hit us up on the chat, man. That's all we care about.
I will give you $10.
I will give you I will add to that $10, $20 to let us know who you are and why you keep unsubscribing from our channel and subscribing and unsubscribing. It's not that big deal.
Now everybody's gonna come fucking forward.
It's my wife. No, I'm just kidding.
Gone it. I need that chair back, Mrs. J-Bone. But just quit it, okay? Just
knock it off.
Knock it off.
Knock it off.
Goofy guy. Okay, that's going to wrap up the show. It's been a heck of a show. Rest in peace to Sabu. And this is, man, it's so hard to talk about Sabu passing away, man. But we will do it again on next Tuesday, and we will also do some predictions for Battleground at some point too, and possibly
and by the way, Diz,
yeah,
they already unsubbed, so thank you for bringing that up.
Oh well, okay, well then, that's great. It's great news. God. Anyway, but we have it was me. I did it for the Rock. All right, whatever.
Bells boy.
We will talk to you next Tuesday, and we will do our Battleground predictions. So enjoy professional wrestling for what it is, and no matter what promotion you like, you enjoy, watch it, love it, and we will talk about it next Tuesday. See ya later.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.
My cat's gonna sub.
Awesome.